will leave it with resources and talent and understanding. Your body thanks you, your mind embraces you, and all your thoughts are trying, living, and going into balance with self. Open that portal to the next galaxy, the next universe, the next dimension. Along this trip, our captain extraordinaire is Dr. Cicely B. Angel. Allow her to guide you, introduce you, and embrace our depth with great resources from the unknown to the known to what we thought to remove the illusion that you have about yourself, your surroundings, and your vortex of the matrix of which you live. Let's go and embark on this journey. Food Alchemy Network. Dr. Cicely D. Angelo will be pruning and grooving with you along with her illustrious guests that she has presented on this luxury network of Food Alchemy Network. So without further ado, welcome to Food Alchemy Network and welcome our guests and our illustrious host, Dr. Cicely D. Angelo. Blessing.
Hello, everyone. How are you? Welcome to Food Alchemy Network. We're going to talk about bartering. Why and why not do we not barter? I think everybody should barter. So, I wanted to know how significant bartering, meaning in your life, and how you can apply bartering into your life. So, for you guys that don't know, I am Dr. D of Food Alchemy Network. I have a blog talk show as well as a podcast. And I wanted to talk about bartering, how we can go about it, whys and the why nots, and how we can do. So also if you're out there and you're seeing this and you also might want to be online, this is a very interactive show. So all you have to do is call 563-9999. 3007 563 9999 3007, and you can be on the line. I'm hoping to hear from you, get some exciting things that we can talk about, and tempt you into understanding why it is important and how it can help you on so many levels bartering. Just saying. So I was creating stuff like this. I don't know. Can you see it? Okay, now you can. And I create other things. I always got something going on. Like this. It's a staff. And I'm always creating something. So to me, it's getting people to get out of their normal, everyday functions in life and the things that they can do. Having this here and showing you the things that you create, to jewelry, to something as simple as candy, can be bartered. We put value on the things that we do. If you noticed, recently, gold prices have dropped dramatically. If you notice, the money is going down and being less value. Well, at least the US dollar is all over. So that's something to think about when we're talking about bartering and why, and what you can do to barter, how it can you can make it work in your best ability in life and how it can trade. Because back in the day, in different places and different times, there was a system that they bartered. They bartered for salt, they bartered for sugar, they bartered for spices. They even they didn't have this thing we call money, it was debt. And even when farmers were actually had things like crops and vegetables, some of that crops were given to the person to maybe pay for land, to pay for other things so that they would be able to have more and be able to live. So, supposing you are a seamstress and you need material, so then you would go to someone that makes material that wovens cloth. So they would weave the cloth with a design and take that cloth and take it to a person that makes clothes, and they can barter. Like, I want an outfit, you have the cloth, I'll take it from there, and they would get paid. And that other person would pay them with their skills. Like the baker would go to the mill and would get the flour, and go to a farm and get sugar, or go to, you feel where I'm going. So everything had a price, and they would weigh it on that in bartering. And we've gotten out of touch or our skills, which I miss. Some of the things like smith work, making knives, some of these artisanal, they call it artisanal, but these are the things they used to do back in the day. Making mead is our form, as my son was showing me. Mead was made back in the day in fermentation, and it's the same thing as making kombucha. You feel what I'm saying? And that was part of bartering. But we don't look at it like that. We are like, what the heck? It's not it's not something I'm familiar with or I want to be part of and all that jazz. So, when you're doing stuff like that, bartering, why? Why do you feel, hey girl, why do you feel like bartering is not enough? Why do you feel you have to have an outside amount? Because if you notice, everybody's system is different. Everybody tried to do in Europe. I remember when I was going in Europe, they used to have a thing in Italy called the lira, and that was their money and that was their currency. And because of their currency they had back in the day, which I thought was really cool, they every country had their own. So they changed it to the euro, and they were going to countries and changing their system to the euro system back in, I want to say, the 90s. And that made a big difference about, let me see something. Sorry, y'all. That made a big difference in what we get, going back to the euro, because it made the English and the UK decided they were not going to do that. They were not going to change their pounds into euros. You know why? Because it would have lost value. It would have devalued. Like the lira is not worth anything. So this has been going on, I want to say, more than 20 something years of devaluing the currency. And we haven't really looked at it in full. The yen, looking at that and putting it against the pound and the euro, look at it. I mean, it's gotten weaker. Every country had their own currency, and then they wanted to upgrade it. So that makes you think of different things like why? Why not? Why are we not bartering? Why are we not doing this to make it better for our countries to be able, for there is no homeless. So there are the farmers being able to trade, the farmers actually getting land, they're able to have clothes. I mean, it worked. It's a good system. Spices, they would get spices, but do you know, in order, you can get the spice, But what about how did that spice that is a plant or herb get to be where it's in a powder form? Because that was not always sold in a powder form. You have to have someone to do the work. You have to have somebody to grind it. So that person needs to get paid. I mean, and you can pay them in herbs or in powder, the herbs or spices or whatever. That to me seems much simpler than just basically bartering. Not bartering, getting paid. Because that's all you're doing is giving money and you're signing this money a value. But at the end of the day, it doesn't mean anything. What can you do with the money? Besides, at the end of the day, burn it. That's what you do. Burn it. You burn money. And the coins, you melt them down for what? You can melt the coins down and basically make bowls or plates or things. And silver has good medicinal purposes. So does gold have good medicinal purposes for your body. But that's not this kind of show that will go on. So I just want to know, like I was showing you some of my things that I make, to give you a estimate. Like your skills are very valuable. They used to be candle makers because they needed candles back in the day to light the different halls and the different places and the pubs and the taverns and the churches. There was a skill and it was needed. Now a lot of people don't do it, but now a lot of people are going back. Even canning and preserving, how to preserve meat, that is something, and it's a skill. Do you know how to preserve meat? That's a skill. How to break down a cow, a chicken, a duck, a rabbit, a duck, a turtle. That's a skill. How to take corn and make it into masa. That's a skill. These are things that take time and develop. So basically, the things that are artisanal right now are basically things that were done all the time in our world that have been changed and made. Okay, now only certain people, few, or like sandwiches are being made and they were cut, the crust was cut off. I mean, just these different skills, making your own mayonnaise, that was nothing new. Now it's what is this? It's so refreshing. It's gourmet. Really? What makes it gourmet about it? Just giving you some things that were done that now we think is haute cuisine or it's fashionable. Oh, somebody took something and they made clothes out of it or they made paper out of it. That is what we did to be resourceful. That is what we did to be successful. But we've gotten out of that. Like, why not do that? What in the hey? Hey, girl. So I'm thinking, like, why not? Why are we not bartering? Why are we not taking it to another level and making sure that we can get along? And the farmer, the seeds and how they grow and how they store, the storehouse. Not everybody, I'll tell you, even another one. In villages, still in Europe today, there are still people that do not own a stove or oven that will take their bread and take it to the baker, and the baker will bake it for them. You know what I mean? Will bake the bread for them so that they can take the bread and come back and pick it up. And they used to have a communal stove where people would gather around their food and actually cook, and each family would take the turn, or they would come together and put their food together and share amongst everybody in that village, in that community. That's what bartering does. I bring this to the pot, you bring this to the pot, I bring that to the pot, you bring all these things to the pot. It makes a beautiful stew, it makes a hearty meal. Bread prolongs and lengthens food and also gives it substance. We can go on about that. So I'm just wanting they're making tortillas, they're making a pita, they're making they would take mutton and somebody would have wine that's fermented and added that and making that mutton moist and pliable. So these are things that you can actually do, but you need to figure out, okay, what is your skill? And is your skill transferable? If the world ended tomorrow, what skill do you have that the world would definitely need? I want to say, I shouldn't say the world, but I mean, if money was gone. I mean, just gone. There was no money. What would you do for getting ahead? What skill do you offer? Now, some of them, let's say the pharmaceutical companies would not be as big as they are, because guess what? You would have to go back to homeopathic, because not everybody would be able to afford the certain medications. I'm just saying. And maybe that would be better. It would make you look up. It would make you we do more walking, because now cars or whatever, you got to figure out how you're going to get gas. Going back that way, how you're riding bikes, walking more, where there is a bus, and how the company stay alive. I mean, these are just some things to look at that will help you get in the system. Like, what do you bring in? How would you barter with your skills? From candle making to pie making to bake making. And the new thing right now is gluten. New Another thing is people are having a reaction, real bad reaction to nightshades. And tomato is not the only nightshade family. There's different ones. So there's educator that need to educate people, and nutritionists, so they would have a job and being able to understand. But how would you pay her? And if you go to the doctor, how would you pay them? And what? This is needs to be talked about. And understanding, back in the day, gold had a purpose. Gold still has a multi-purpose, not only in value, but gold has a purpose that it can actually do some healing for the body, or it can be something used in the alchemy, metaphysical, Wiccan, whatever world that you want to call in that you live in. It has different purposes and different things that you can do. The metals and minerals play a part. And also, every mineral that is out there is actually, that they say they find, is actually in you. You're made of multiple of minerals, but we just haven't broken them down. You actually naturally have copper in you. You naturally have silver in you. You naturally have gold in you. These are things, I'm not saying that we're going to mush people up. I gotta make us laugh. We gotta lighten, but let's talk about this bartering system and how we can go about. Music could be bartered with. If you played somewhere, you had food, a night, or clothes, or whatever. If you wrote a song for someone, if you wrote poetry for someone, that is an art. That is a talent. That is something that can get you somewhere. Driving a car, and getting and knowing and how to navigate. How many people know how to navigate to the east from the west, and the west and the south from the north? How to navigate through the mountains, how to survive. That's a skill. What is indigenous to your area, and how would you survive if things came down and that say your refrigerator cut off? How would you store your food? How would you be able to go to do the next thing? What is the thing? What will survive in your area? What are the herbs that are in your area? Now, what do you have? Do you have your own personal apothecary? Do you have your own personal essential oil or place that you distill? You make your own distill essential oils, or do you have your own where you're making flower essence? Do you have it where you can make your own pulse, tinctures, or salves? Do you know that that's a skill? That's something that you can barter with if you're making them around. Your shampoo, your conditioner, all of this stuff is something that you can barter with and use in life to get ahead, because everybody wants to be fresh. Everybody wants to be clean. They want to be able to wash their body. They want to be able to oil their body. They want to be able to take their hair. So somebody that maybe is doing hair can barter for actually shampoo, conditioner. I get this amount for not only for my clients, but also for my family. Okay, well, if you do this, then I can get my hair done or whatever. That's a barter system, and it's equal of energy. This is beautiful. Do you see the exchange? Could you feel the exchange if you did that? How light in the world would be? And we wouldn't have, I think it would also cause us to use less excessively using the things in this world. That's what I'm thinking, and why it would actually help Mother Earth. It would help the universe. It would help us actually get closer back to humanity, which we have lost, and learning who we are and being connected with your brother and with your sister. Or, it would help us get there. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. I went out for a minute. My internet here is not as stable as I need it to be at times, so I apologize for me going, and now I'm back. But I was saying, if you have different people in different places at different things, that is why I like the food co-op. I grew up in being part of a food co-op, and my children were part of a food co-op all the way up until they were like, I want to say when my daughter turned about 12, we got on a food co-op. And we would actually go together and we would pack our beans and pack our bread, pack our flour. And we bartered, is that it turned into a supermarket. When I was a kid, my mother was part of a food co-op in Philadelphia. I think it was the first food co-op in Chestnut Hill, and we would go in and we would pack all these things, and there was different people that were vegan and vegetarian, and we would pack stuff and this stuff, and they had stock in it. They were part of Weaver's Way Food Co-op in Chestnut Hill. That's the food co-op I grew up as a little kid, and they used to make yogi hoagies and all these vegetarian vegan foods. Okay, I say all these vegetarian vegan foods I grew up with and I ate and I loved, and it brought a lot of balance in our community, but also getting to know the people in our community. Now Weaver Way is actually a great is a supermarket. It was like a front house that they used that grew up and then they outgrew it. And now in Chestnut Hill on Germantown Avenue, they are they have two locations, all from the community based. That the people that come in there, they volunteer to be there, and they get a discount on the food, or sometimes they work and get free food. At least that's how it be when I was a little kid. Now I don't know how it is now, but they talk to the local farmers, and they would talk to the local farmers where to go and find out where the food got processed from in order to bring it into the store. So I think because I lived like that for so long, and um, going to butchers and going to the fishmonger, that is why I like certain foods of certain qualities and like certain food, because that's how I grew up, and I brought my kids up basically the same way, for them to be able to get in touch and know your local food co-op, know your local farmer, getting in touch with them, see what you can do and how you can be a service to them. Going to the honey, the bee farmer, and talking to them and what they need, and buying honey from wherever I live at the local level. So that way I was in exchange with them knowing my food, but also able to help. And I'll give you something else. I got some eucalyptus from a lady. You see that? Or can you see that? Can you guys see that? I made that. That's a eucalyptus wreath that I made, and it took me time to make that. What I did is, not only did I make mine, I took it and I made another one, and I actually sent it back. I brought it to the lady, dropped it off, that gave me the wreath in payment. That's stuff that we can do. That's bartering. She gave it to me for free, and she said, "Well, you can put it in your shower," and you can. These are straight from a tree. It's a blue eucalyptus. It took a little while to get like this color. When I got it, it was not like this. It was actually a lot greener. But as it, matures, it smells and it permeates, but also it's good for reproductive, not reproductive, respiratory system, your respiratory system. So that's what I'm talking about. That is something that I just did. I make candles. I would make kombucha. I make yogurt. I mean, there's different things that I think are skills that we can make, and we can actually help and do barter, and it would do better. It would do a lot better for this, I want to say, universe, or us as living, because we're exchanging energy, and it's loving energy. I'm giving you this and I'm getting that. And it's not done nastily, like, like when we give money, sometimes we buy stuff we want and we don't even like the people that we're buying stuff from. But yet we're giving them our dollars because we feel that's the only way we can do it, or that's the only way we're going to survive. Is that something that you really want to do? Is that something that you really is going to think is going to help you by doing that? I'm just thinking. Okay. Really thinking we have to do better. We got to do really good things, and we can do that by bartering. So if you have something to barter, what would you want in exchange for your bartership? How would you use your skill to barter in your life? That's a question that I have for someone. How would you barter? Anybody? Hold on. I want to see, because sometimes in the midst of the storm, I'll be gone home to you. Oh, oh. In the midst of the storm, I will always come home to you. I am there when I stay strong. I am there to love you all night long. I am love. What are you? I'm just in the mood to sing today. Let y'all know it's okay, y'all. Are you in love with yourself as much as you can be? I'm just saying. All right now. Oh, shoot. All right, you guys. I ain't gonna even try to do this. This is like, it's trying to be ugly up in here. But that's okay. So for my ladies and my friends, I'm going to switch over to BTR, and we're going to talk so I can get the system over there. So I'm going to do a switcheroo. So if you want, you can join me on 563-999-3007, 563-999-3007. And I'm out of here. If you've got more questions, let me know. I'll be going over to the other station, and we're going to do this thing. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to be on BTR. And all you got to do is go to BTR Food Alchemy Network, and you'll see me live. And that's where I'm going to go. So